All right, well, Kylian Mbappe continues to produce the goods. Talk about getting the best out of your superstar. That's certainly what Didier Deschamps has done here with Mbappe. 27 years of age. Check this out. 18 games starting at the World Cup. He's won 17 of those games. The one game being the final 4 years ago. That draw against Argentina that obviously went to penalties. Mbappe is 1 goal behind Messi for the all-time leader in goals scored at a World Cup. He's now level with Messi on 8 goals in this tournament. This is his tournament. Jules, what is it about Kylian Mbappe in the World Cup? Obviously, he produces week in, week out for Real Madrid, but it's like there's a different level nearly when he puts on that blue jersey.
Yeah, you're right. I think he's on a mission here, like he was 4 years ago in Qatar. I think there's something with him that the World Cup just triggers. You know, he grew up, and he mentioned it many times. We had a lot of discussion about this. He grew up. The dream was, okay, to play for PSG, Real Madrid one day, win the Champions League, the Ballon. But the biggest dream was to play for the World Cup with France and win the World Cup with France. And he did that in 2018 as a 19-year-old, still as a teenager, young and up and coming. The world discovered him there. It's a different Kylian Mbappe today, obviously, in this tournament, as a captain, as the leader, as one of the best players in the world. I mean, the stats just the World Cup stats speaks for itself. 2 World Cup now back-to-back with at least 8 goals. Nobody has ever done that. 20 in 20. It's ridiculous. And that's not even with the assist. So he's on more goals involvement than one per game, really. So it's just ridiculous. And I really believe that he grew up with watching videos of the 1998 triumph, of course, and that Zidane generation, hoping to do the same. And now he's got 3 semi-finals in a row. He can potentially have a 3rd final in a row, which obviously is very rare, and potentially a 2nd World Cup trophy as well at 27. It's just incredible what he's achieving at the World Cup.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, when you see the wins that he's got there, the 17 wins in 18 games, I'll be honest, there are probably lots of countries that have never won 17 games 100%. At a World Cup. Yeah. And we're talking about a guy who's done this across the last 3. I think it's truly remarkable because, say, for us, Messi is perceived to be one of the best in the history of the game. And Mbappe is going toe-to-toe with him, but with a 12-year advantage. Yeah. You know, it's absolutely obscene. And when we see some of Messi's struggles, for example, in the earlier tournaments, for as good as he is, as good as he was, you then see Mbappe with this French side potentially lifting, like, their 2nd trophy out of the last 3 tournaments. It's genuinely obscene.
I mean, Jules knows, and we all know, he had a lot of criticism in a Real Madrid shirt this year because, of course, they didn't win anything. So the fact that he has responded like this at a World Cup, I think shows how mentally strong he is as well. You know, Vinicius has fallen away, of course, with Brazil. And we're talking about Mbappe being the leader of the team. And you just wonder that if France do go on to lift this World Cup, you know, will that elevate someone like Kylian Mbappe to be a Ballon d'Or winner or certainly a Ballon d'Or candidate?
Yeah.
But there's
a few in that dressing room.
That's what I mean.
I'm saying we've got Ousmane Dembele, who's won the Champions League, and of course his stats are good as well. But you know, Jules is saying this World Cup seemingly is belonging to Mbappe. It's Mbappe. Elise's great and Dembele's great, of course, and they're chipping in. But he seems to be the focal point and the leader, and you wonder whether that'll be enough or whether they'll go back to someone who's won the World Cup and someone who's won the Champions League.
Let me add this wrinkle. Imagine, Jules, if he knocks out Spain in the process, what that would mean for Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Maka. I think if he wins the World Cup, having played like he has so far, and again, if France wins the World Cup, it's because Mbappe would have delivered in the semi-final, in the final, most likely. I know others can step up, and that's the strength of this French team. We talked enough about the dependence of Norway on Haaland and of England on Bellingham and Kane, and obviously Argentina on Messi and things like that. And yes, Mbappe is the leader here and is the main focus and everything. But Dembele and Olise and Dwayne Barcola have done more than just participating and being the rest of the cast, really. But yeah, I think if France win this World Cup, he wins the Ballon d'Or.
What about Mbappe's mentality? You cover La Liga, you commentate on it all the time. To beat Spain, what would that mean for him?
Oh, no, it'll be incredible for him. As I said, the front 2 at Real Madrid have taken a lot of criticism, and rightly so, because for some reason or other, they can't work together. And it'll be a huge decision for Jose Mourinho and his new staff that we all saw today of what he's going to do. Whether he's going to get stuck into Kylian and Vinny Jr. and make them work harder, or whether he's just going to put one in and one on the bench, or one in and one and sell one. And the fact that he's elevated himself and he's put himself into such an important position, Kylian, that he is arguably now the #1 player in the world, isn't he? So he will be ahead of Vinicius Junior, and that'll be the interesting thing. But he took a lot of criticism, him and Vinny Junior, all year, and rightly so. But the fact that he's responded like this, and we're talking about him now being a Ballon d'Or winner, which he's never won, and that was one of the reasons why he wanted to go to Madrid, and of course win the Champions League.
Why is he working harder for France?
I don't think he is. I just think he's got people around him who work harder.
Yeah.
Whereas in Madrid, they're carrying 2 players, or they were carrying 2, 9 were carrying 2, whereas France, arguably, 10 of them are carrying 1. So Barcola, Elise, who's ran as much, Dembele, they're doing a lot of the work. Yeah. Doué, who came on, Zaire Emery, who came on, Rabiot, who's been amazing, Kone, Tchouameni, they're all doing the work, and he's putting the sort of the finishing touches to it, so they can carry him. I mean, I'm not saying he's not working hard. Of course he's working hard, but he picks and chooses when he makes his runs, and I understand that. And that's why I think we're getting the best out of him. That's why I think Jose's got a huge decision to make come August and the La Liga starts, because I don't think the two of them can coexist on the same pitch.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with you that I don't necessarily think he's working any harder. But firstly, he's in an environment where everybody has the same shared objective. They're all Frenchmen trying to win the World Cup. That's very different to, say, being at Real Madrid, where you've got this faction, that faction.
You've got 60 games in a year. And
exactly. There's so much stuff going on. But then also, his tendencies, which were probably perceived as a weakness for Real Madrid, they don't really matter as much for France, because say if he drifts out to the left, then Dembele will go into the 9. You know, if somebody drifts out from the right, somebody will go to this side. So they all just work really well together. And as a consequence, he can thrive and be the best version of himself. And for the way that he's done it in the previous 2 World Cups, they respect him and know that that's their captain. And the way that he's going to do it is the way that the team needs it to happen. And when you have that version of Mbappe, you've got the top scorer in the whole tournament.